Can you guys hear me? Yeah. No.
Hold it close.
How about now?
Oh, cute.
Okay. So my name is Jocelyn. I'm the president of Homestead FCA. But in December and November, I couldn't necessarily say this because you can't be the president of a club that's not allowed on campus. And so my interest for starting FCA at my school happened when I went to a FCA camp at UCLA. And I was in our small groups, and here they talked to us about how all the other students had FCA clubs at their school, and I was the only person that didn't. So this is really where my interest mainly sparked, to have FCA at my school campus. And so when I got back to school in August, I had emailed the ASB advisor, and she couldn't give me an answer on when the application form would be completed. So she told me to go to the vice president of ASB. The vice president of ASB had told me that the application form would be finished that month, but it ended up taking 3 months longer for it to actually be completed. And so the vice president and the ASB advisor weren't super clear, and they weren't giving me direct answers onto when things would get done or how the process would happen. So within that time, I had found 4 other officers to help me with the application and who wanted to be more involved with FCA. So then eventually the application came out and I started filling it out. I had asked Rico for help. And then there were 2 options where you either make a video and you present it to ASB, or you present to them face to face, so that way it gives them opportunity to ask any questions that they had. And so we wanted to plan on doing this, so we were getting our slides ready for ASB and we were planning on presenting. But then at the last minute, the vice president decided to change it to everybody makes a video. So this eliminated the option of us being able to have ASB ask us any questions where they weren't like clear, or we weren't clear about anything. So then we had submitted the video, and about a few weeks later, one of our officers had heard from one of his friends at ASB that we got denied. And so the vice president never got back to us, so we were just waiting for them to let us know. So then in December we got denied, and there were 16 no's and 2 people who didn't want to vote either yes or no. And so they had reasons onto why we got denied, but I didn't necessarily think that they were valid. So their reasons were, it overlaps with another Christian club on campus. The presentation makes it seem that it is not open to anyone, when we clearly stated that everybody's welcome, whether they're a Christian or not, or athlete or not, they're still welcome to our club. And then they said it's hard to lose the Christian focus, and they do not see the qualification of the officers. So then I had told Rigo about this, and then that's when he contacted Dennis. And so I explained to Dennis the whole process of what happened, like I'm explaining to you now. And we talked about the letter to the superintendent and how it was going to get sent out. And we had given the superintendent a time frame, or like a date necessarily, to when we wanted to hear back from her, because we didn't want to wait a super long time or else nothing would have happened. And so she didn't respond back within the time frame, so the option was to send another email out, try to get an answer, or just wait it out. And so we waited it out so that way like it wouldn't cause any drama or anything about it. And then in the meantime, the officers were getting really discouraged, and they were worried because we got shut down. It's like, okay, are you gonna do anything about it? And so I didn't want to tell them about PJI because I didn't necessarily want it to get out to ASB that, oh, this is what's happening, so I didn't want anybody to know. And then the superintendent got back and said that district training on the subject will happen, so other schools now are able to start an FCA club or any other religious club on campus and not necessarily get shut down like we did. And then the ASB advisor was telling her classes about what had happened with us, and she was saying like, oh, yeah, this whole club was making a big deal about it, and so she's telling her classes how we threatened to sue the school about the club getting denied. And so even now we're getting opposition from classmates and teachers and ASB and our friends, because they're just, I don't know why, but they're really against us for some reason. And so people are posting on like social media that our club doesn't belong on campus, or like religious clubs don't belong on campus, because if they wanted to go to a religious school, they would have. So that's what happened. And so that's what happened with PJI and everything that happened. And so because of Dennis and PJI, this experience has taught me to always know your rights, because you need to know more about how I needed to know that what they were doing was violating the federal law, and I was unaware about that. They also taught me to do your research, so that way you know more about the subject, and to stand up for what you believe in.
That's right.
And I'm so thankful for Dennis, for all of the hard work and everything you've done for me. And this is for you. And if anybody would like to, I really encourage to please support PGI by becoming a donor. Throughout this process, I have learned that I want to be a positive role model to others by contributing to others and a contributing member to society.
Good job. How many kids are in your group? How many are in your
Officers? We have 6 other officers now, so including me, there's 7.
And then how many students are in the actual, is it, you call it a club? I mean,
We haven't had our first meeting yet.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
We're having
All
our
right.
first meeting after break.
Perfect. Okay.
What's this, athletes?
Yes, Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Awesome.
That's what FCA stands for?
Yes.
That was my question.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And how did you end up at UCLA? Do you have a friend at another school that was in the group, and that's what to go down originally to find out?
So for my softball team in the summer, I had gotten an email from our coach got an email from Rigo about this camp, and so my mom had signed me up for it, and she didn't tell me that it was a faith-based camp because she didn't want me to have any thoughts about it before, or that I didn't want to go to it. So that's how I got appointed.
Can you tell us how many or what other religious clubs are on campus? I'm sure there must be.
There's another Christian club on campus, but when they had said that our club overlapped with it, their club is completely different from ours. There's has nothing to do with athletes mainly, and then there's also a Jewish club at our school and a Muslim club, and then I don't know what else there is.
But you can't have the Christian.
Once you said that you would be willing to have anybody join, no matter what their religion, then what was the next thing that they said? What was their opposition remark after that?
I mean, when they had told me about when they sent out an email saying that we didn't seem like welcoming to other people, I wanted to go talk to them myself and say, like, did you watch our video? Because we definitely said that everybody's welcome. So, but at that point, I was just like, I'm just gonna leave it to Rigo and leave it to Dennis and PJI, and I'm just not gonna try to start any more drama with it.
She's like, okay, you done?
Thank you.